Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Cars 2 modding tutorial. Before we get into this tutorial though, I just want to say thank you all for 2,000 subscribers. I just hit the goal yesterday and I'm so thankful for you all. I've noticed everyone's been popping into the streams, been having a great time watching me play stuff, as well as giving a lot of support on all the videos, you guys are excited for more, and honestly, I'm very thankful for you all. I have a lot more stuff coming soon, so hopefully you guys will stick around for that. But anyway, I just wanted to give a quick thanks. Now that that's out of the way, welcome to another Cars 2 modding tutorial. And in this tutorial, I will be showing you how to edit the game's localization. So what is localization? Well, localization is essentially just what gives like the characters their actual names. Before you give characters like names, they will have, I guess you could say, like file names. I will show you an example right now. So I have two mods combined. I have Project Trilogy and I also have MSR's Xmas Lightning McQueen, or Christmas Lightning McQueen, however you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. But right here, as you can see, I have him and then Project Trilogy right here. All of the Project Trilogy assets. But as you notice, his name doesn't appear properly. It appears as CARNAME underscore McQueen underscore RRC, and you get the point. And as you can see, his description doesn't show up as well. And neither does his unlock status. So that is the localization right there. Before you can even apply a name to a character, they will have their file names. So this is the name that appears in the game files. So you have McQueen underscore RRC underscore Xmas. So if I go into my assets folder right here, I go into front end characters. I will scroll down to McQueen and boom, here it is right here. McQueen underscore RRC underscore Xmas. So you're probably wondering how it is that you can remove the car name, or how it is that you can replace the file name altogether and give him his actual name. Well, this is what the tutorial is for. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. But before we get into it, there are two simple tools you will need to do this. You're going to need C2DI tools, which I've covered in a video previously. I will link that video in the description below. And you will also need offsetting windows, which I had shown off in a previous video as well. I will leave the download to that tool in the description below, as well as the Matryoshka tutorial in the description below as well. However, you will not need Matryoshka for this tutorial. You will just need INDCTIVE, I guess I'll just call it INDCTIVE. INDCTIVE is another piece of offsetting, just like Matryoshka. Offsetting is just the general tool. However, we're not going to be using Matryoshka, we're going to be using INDCTIVE. So, yeah, just go ahead and download that. I will show you the page right here. So, you open up github.com/offsetting. Once again, it will be in the description below. Once you do that, you're going to want to go to offsetting and then download the latest release. So you just want to download that. Then you want to open the folder, and you don't have to, it doesn't have to have this name. You can just name it whatever you want. But for the sake of the tutorial, I'm just going to keep it the same. So once you have this file, you basically just want to look for your localization now. Localization is always inside of the Lang folder. So you want to go into Lang. So I already have some modded Lang folders right here, but you can just ignore this. I would create a new folder right here in the Lang folder called Lang Edit. Lang Edit or Edits. Doesn't really matter what you call it. But just to keep track of it, I would call it that. And then what you want to do is extract lang.zip. So you just do that. I'm not going to extract it right now because I already have modded ones right here. And what you want to do is essentially look for the DCTs that correspond to your language. You will always have to look for a language DCT and then the string IDs. String IDs is universal. everyone's going to use the same string IDs, which is right here. String IDs underscore win32 we.dct. This is the one you're always going to need. The one that's going to be different is depending on your game's language. So look for your language, which in my case is English. As far as I know, the PAL one isn't used, but just in case, if you are an English speaker and you live in Europe, if you edit the NTSC one and it doesn't work, then make sure to edit the PAL one, and then that'll fix the issue. However, as far as I know, PAL isn't used. So to continue on, look for your language DCT. So if you speak Dutch, you can go for a Dutch right here, Dutch underscore win32. But I am an English speaker, so I will do English NTSC underscore win32.dct. I'm going to select that. And then I'm also going to select the string IDs right here. You're going to want to copy. And you want to go to lang edits, paste them both in here. And this is the same folder where you're also going to want to put offsetting underscore windows.exe or whatever it is that you named it. So you have the easy steps done, or now it is time to unpack the DCTs. So there are some commands that you're going to have to run. Make sure that you open CMD or command prompt. Make sure that you open it in the same directory, whether by right-clicking and opening a terminal, or by going up here and typing in CMD and then pressing enter, and boom, it should show up. So do whichever you're comfortable with. Both will work. You just make sure to open CMD in the same directory as this folder, otherwise it will not work. So now what you want to do in CMD, you want to type in the unpack command. There are two commands. There's DCT unpack and DCT pack. DCT unpack is for unpacking these two files right here. So let me type in the command. So you're going to want to type in the name of the exe right here. So mine is called offsetting underscore windows.exe. But if you named it anything else, make sure to type in that different name right here. So you do offsetting underscore windows.exe. Then you're going to want to type in DCT unpack. And then you're going to want to type in your language DCT first. So you're going to do English, or I'm going to do English rather. I'm going to do English.ntsc underscore win32 we.dct. So yeah, this first one is always the language. Make sure you type your corresponding language right here. If it's Spanish, type in Spanish. If it's Dutch, type in Dutch. And then after that, it's going to be the string IDs. String IDs is always the second one. So you're going to do string IDs underscore win32 we.dct. And like I said, this DCT is always going to be the same for everyone. This is going to be the exact same one for everyone, and it's always going to be second. So this second one is always going to be easy to remember. And now you're going to want to type in the name of the folder that you're outputting to. So you can just name it output, or you can just name it, I don't know, lol or hello. Doesn't really matter. Just type in a name, and then boom, you should have a folder right here, your output folder that you typed in. And then once you open it, you will have two JSON files. So the one you want to focus on is translation.json. This is the localization right here. This is where you can add the name of your character and all that good stuff. So all you want to do now is open this in Notepad or some sort of Notepad equivalent. I would recommend editing this in a coding software like Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to open that in Visual Studio Code right here, simply because everything's color coded and it looks a lot easier. And yeah, so you're just going to want to open the translation.json just in any software. You don't have to use Visual Studio Code. Just make sure you have some sort of method of editing this file. And then what you want to do is scroll all the way down until you're at the very end. So here is where you're going to add your brand new character name, description, and unlock status. So if we take a closer look here, if we take a closer look here, you can already see some characters text. So right here we have card description underscore Natalie. So I don't have Natalie Certain in my game, but this is localization for Natalie Certain. So this is her card description, as you can see right here, card desk underscore Natalie. Natalie is an expert in statistics, blah blah blah. This is her description. And then if we go a little bit higher, we have car unlock status. So this is the line of text that will show up when your car is unlocked. So for example, if you have a modded or DLC character, such as Barry right here, he's a modded character. His unlock description or his unlock status is going to say this item has been downloaded. But for a base game character, it'll say ready for action, or if they have an unlock status, such as brand new Fillmore, it'll say what their unlock badge was and stuff like that. And to continue on, oh, let me close this. Ignore that. It's just an issue with some application I have on my PC. But yeah, to go back to this, as you can see, this is the unlock status right here, and it says right here, this item has been downloaded. And then there's also one more that you have to focus on. Right here, car name. I just scrolled up a little bit and I ended up finding one. So car name underscore Cletus. So this is for Cletus. This gives the character their name. Yeah, so you have the car name right here, and then you have his actual name. So this is the sort of structure that we are going to be applying. The structure is the same for every character. It's always going to be car desk, car unlocked, and then car name. So you can kind of see where this is going. All you have to do now is make sure you don't edit above the last one. Just edit between the second to last one and the last one, like I just did right here. And basically what you're going to want to do now, let's add the car name first. So we're going to do car name, and then, you know, the character name that you want to bring into the game. So make sure you put their file name right here. So if you want to look for their file name, just go into the assets, go to front end, characters, look for the character you want to give the name to. So as you can see right here, I want to give McQueen RRC Xmas his name. So I'm going to type in his file name right here. So the reason you have to type in his file name first is because of how this game works. So everything in this game is read by files. For example, McQueen. McQueen is called in the files McQueen. If you put Francesco files inside of McQueen, like if this folder was called Francesco, it would not work because the game is trying to read McQueen files, but McQueen files aren't present. So if I rename this zip francesco.zip, the game is not going to be able to read it, and it's not going to load in Lightning McQueen. Why? Because it's a Francesco file. It doesn't belong to McQueen, so the game doesn't read it and it ignores it altogether. So make sure everything that you're typing in right here applies to the file name, like car name underscore McQueen Xmas blah blah blah. So that is very important. So let us copy his file name right here. I'm gonna do car name underscore McQueen underscore RRC underscore Xmas. And then now what you want to do is put a colon, and then you're going to want to type in his string name. So this is what's going to show up in the actual game itself. The green right here is going to be the string name, and the purple is the file name. So we don't want to give him his file name, we want to give him his actual name now. So we're just going to type in, I don't know what his actual name is, but we can just call him McQueen Xmas. There we go. McQueen Xmas right here. And then now you've done that, you're going to want to put a comma at the end, because as you can see, if you don't put the comma, it errors, simply because this is kind of just how code works. Every line of code is separated by a comma. The last line of code does not have a comma, so make sure that the last line of code doesn't have one. So we're just going to put the comma back, and there you go. The error disappears. And now we just want to do card description. Let's do card desk underscore McQueen underscore RRC underscore Xmas. And then we're going to put the colon again. And now we're going to want to type in the description for him. I'll just make one up. McQueen has a new holly jolly look. And there we go. Simple description like that will work. Now I just put the comma again. And then now for the car unlock status. So you just do car unlocked underscore McQueen RRC Xmas, and then put the colon after it. Put the quotations again, and then now this can be whatever you want. It doesn't have to be this item has been downloaded. You could say, I don't know, Merry Christmas, and boom, there we go. You just put the comma at the end, and then you save it. So you go to File, Save, or you can just do Control S and it will save it. So now you've successfully added the name, description, and unlock status of a character. So now all you have to do is close out of this, go back to your translation.json folder, and then go back to your Lang edits folder, and go back to where you see the offsetting windows exe again. Go back to that section. And what you're going to want to do now is type in the pack command. So the pack command is a little bit different. So what you're going to want to do is type in the exe again. Then you're going to want to type DCT pack. So we're not unpacking this time, we're packing it. So we're gonna pack our edits that we just made, and we're going to apply them to the game files. So once again, this time you're going to want to type in the output folder first. So my output folder was called hello. So we're going to type in hello, and then now we're going to type in the language DCT, English NTSC underscore win32 we.dct, and then the string IDs underscore win32 we.dct, and that's basically the pack command. So now you're going to want to press enter, and then boom. So you're not going to notice a change. Nothing's going to, be added to your folder. However, if you look closely, the DCT files have been updated. So 11:51 a.m. It just turned 11:51 a.m. So that is how you know that they have been saved and edited, is if the time has changed. So now you're going to want to copy both of these files, go back to your Lang folder, and then paste them in here. This destination has two files with the same names. That's fine. Replace it. Go back. And then now what you're going to want to do is open a terminal right here in the directory where the Lang folder is. And you're going to want to pack the Lang folder into a zip with C2DI tools. So I've covered this before, so I'm not going to go into detail of what the command is, but you just want to make sure you pack it. And then boom, saving, and there you go. You know it's finished when this pops up. So now if I go back into Cars 2, my changes should be there. So let us go check it out. And boom, there you go. The localization edits have made an effect. Our character is called McQueen Xmas. Our unlock status is called Merry Christmas. And then now, he has his description as well. Now you can enjoy your character feeling more complete by having their name and all that good stuff. Before this video ends, I forgot to mention that I do have more tutorials coming soon. I had a icon combining tutorial or mod combining tutorials that were supposed to release. However, there was a bug with offsetting, with the offsetting tool with Matrishka. So I had to push it back. The bug still has not been resolved. However, I can still make the tutorial. It should work with the mods that I'm going to showcase. So yeah, expect a tutorial coming soon for mod combining. This basically served as a semi-mod combining tutorial since it showed you how to bring character names back. So you can do this for whatever mods you're combining as well. So hopefully this tutorial helped. The aim is not to do the things for you, but to help you learn, to help you gain more experience in Cars 2 modding, and to make modding a bit more friendly. As always, I always say this at the end of my tutorials. Hopefully this helped you understand the game a little bit better and how things work, and hopefully you're able to do more edits on your own. But if you ever need help, come back to this tutorial. You can hit me up in the comments or join the Cars 2 Modding Discord if you're having a little bit more trouble, and we will try to help you there. So yeah, hopefully this helped, and I will see you guys in the next video.